Welcome back to part 4 of this 10-part Formula 1 season review. Today we're going to be discussing all things Williams. We've previously done Haas. Although this was a decision that Gunter, the development team, made, they have now finished 10th again. Alfa Romeo. Drivers of Valtteri Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou will be hoping that heading into 2024 there will be a lot of changes made to the car to improve its capabilities in race and qualifying performance. And AlphaTauri. Today we're going to be talking about Franz Tost, AlphaTauri and all of their drivers. They had a lot of them this season, and who can blame me for this video if it takes too long. So today it's now the time to look at James Vowles, Alex Albon, Logan Sargeant, and take a look at their season as a whole. Williams ended the season finishing P7 in the Constructors' Championships. James Vowles was really impressed with this P7, as was I, and as was a lot of the other fans of Formula 1. There's a lot of things to discuss when it comes to Williams. Does Alex Albon deserve a seat at a top-tier team? Should Logan Sargeant stay for next season? I'm recording this video on the 29th of November. If Logan Sargeant has been confirmed or someone else has replaced him, apologies, we'll get into that in another video. It's just come to my attention, 63% of you are not subscribed. What are you doing? Click that red button right now. So, firstly, let's look at Williams as a whole. They finished P7, about 3 or 4 points ahead of AlphaTauri. They didn't get any wins, poles or podiums as you would expect from a bottom half Formula 1 side, but they did put in some excellent performances, Alex Albon most notably. Logan Sargeant as a rookie had his ups and downs, and for me is one of them drivers who you could give him another year and risk it, or replace him with someone who's already out there. There's lots of drivers on the market at the moment, the likes of Liam Lawson, the likes of Mick Schumacher. I know he's just signed as reserve driver and for endurance championships, I believe. But if a Formula 1 seat was to become available, I'm sure it's a conversation he'd be happy to have. You've also got Teo Pourchaire and Felipe Drugovich, who I'm sure want a seat in Formula 1. Williams went on to their 7th place finish with 8 points finishes. Most of them were by Alex Albon, but Logan Sargeant did pop in with 1 point finish in Austin. Alex Albon collected 27 of the 28 points for Williams. James Vowles is obviously expecting Alex Albon to be the lead driver of an experienced and a rookie, but it is now time for, if Logan Sargeant was to stay, he's got to step up next season. The problem that had happened within Williams is that Logan Sargeant has never been close enough to Alex. On the occasion that he has been, he's not been able to maintain that performance into following races. Although he has developed from the start of the season, he still has a long way to go in his career. Williams had a total of 8 DNFs this season, although they had an average finish position of 14.11. That is a lower finish position than AlphaTauri. Williams again had a lower average qualifying position than AlphaTauri with just 14.82. It's interesting that Williams finished below AlphaTauri in both of these stats, but I'm also keen to note that Williams were quite a consistent team, whereas AlphaTauri had really high peaks and really low lows. It's important to note that Williams will be looking to maintain their consistency while improving their car heading into the 2024 season. Let's talk about Alex Albon. Alex Albon, a former Red Bull driver, has really grown into this role as lead driver at Williams. He picked up 7 points finishes this season, scoring 27 points. That is obviously the majority of the team's points this season. He has done an excellent job with the team. He's brought them further forward from the grid from when he joined, replacing George Russell. Alex Albon has a long way to go in his career, but is it time for him to make that step up to a top team? I know he's previously spent time at Red Bull, but I don't feel that that is a good place for drivers to go these days. With the focus always being on Max Verstappen, the second driver is always left to struggle. Alex Albon may find himself in a position where a seat becomes available at the likes of Ferrari or Mercedes with contracts coming up in future years. But Does Alex want to move, or does he want to take Williams to the next level? Does he want to make them championship fighters? Alex Albon and Logan Sargeant split the DNFs 4 each between them this season, although Logan Sargeant's DNFs cost more money. Alex Albon is a driver who is very consistent. He had an average finish position of 12.41 and an average qualifying position of 12.41. That is impressive for a driver of his calibre, and I'm interested to see what happens next season. Logan Sargeant, on the other hand, had an average finish position of 15.82 and an average qualifying position of 17.23. This is one of the main differences between Alex and Logan. Logan is just unable to get himself in those positions to beat Alex or even help Alex in battles. They never usually have two cars around each other unless they're at the back end of the grid. I'm keen to talk about Logan Sargeant because for me, I personally think he's a driver who should be replaced heading into next season. He was given all 22 races this season, and James Vowles would never comment on his future. For me, I think that Logan has shown this season that he can drive. He is a capable driver, but for me, I think there's better talent out there. You have the likes of Frederick Vesti, who's just finished P2 in Formula 2. You've got Terry Porcher, who's just won Formula 2. You've got Drugovich from last year's Formula 2 winners bracket. I think it's important that these drivers like Drugovich, Porcher, Frederick Vesti all see an opportunity to come into F1. You've also got other drivers like Mick Schumacher, who's sitting on the sidelines right now. Yes, reserve driver and potential endurance contract, but it's important that these drivers are taken seriously by James Vowles. I'll be keen to know what your thoughts and feelings are on Logan Sargeant. I think it's clear. I think he needs to be replaced for Williams to get higher up in the Drivers' Championships. I think that Alex is the perfect driver for Williams right now. Although I think Alex may deserve a better car, I think he's in the right place to prove himself, a little bit like Sergio Perez did with Racing Point. If I was James Vowles, the decision I would make is to replace Logan with Frederick Vesti. I think by bringing in Frederick Vesti, I think that Williams can get themselves a better deal on power units like they have done previously, or even a better deal on a contract. That is because of their obvious relationship with Mercedes due to their power units. Do I think that Vesti will be better than Sargeant? I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows apart from the Mercedes team and the people who deal with all the data for Mercedes, and if that's been shared with Williams, they'll be the only ones that know. But do I think it could offer an improvement? Yes. I do think that Frederick Vesti has something to prove. He's a driver that's just finished second in F2 after a very, very consistent season. Someone like Felipe Drugovich has been sitting on the sidelines now for over a year. I think he does have a contract as reserve driver at Aston Martin next season, but I'm sure if a full-time seat came up in Formula 1, I'm sure he wouldn't say no. Mick Schumacher is another driver who he himself feels like he's been prejudiced against for some reason, but he is a driver that I think could step into that Williams seat and aid Alex Albon. I'm keen to talk about James Vowles now. James Vowles had a very, very impressive first season as team principal. Leaving Mercedes to go to Williams was a big decision that Vowles made, but he is now the team principal of a 7th place finishing constructors team. They've made lots of development over the season and they kept hold of that 7th place. James, a very, very good talker. He's impressive to hear on the media or on the pit wall. He's impressive to hear when he's talking to his team and talking about race weekends. And I just really look forward to seeing what he can do in the coming years. I personally do believe that in a few years, he may replace Toto Wolff at Mercedes. So I just want to thank you all for coming and watching part 4 of this 10-part series. The next part will be Alpine as I look into Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly and the rift that they had at the start of the season with Otmar Zafnar leaving. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.